Hey Clashers, we have overall 4 event troops for this entire month, and the first one was already released at the beginning of the month. This is why I have a standalone video with the top 3 strategies linked down below the description for the Yeeter. Today, we're going to concentrate on the wrestling version of the P.E.K.K.A., of the Giant, and the Valkyrie, and going to set up some nice strategies. Let's get things started with the Giant. This thing on paper is just insanely broken. 26,000 hit points is crazy scary. On the other side though, it is really hard to use because any corner opening, any outside defense can really mess up the pathing for this troop. At the end of the day, it's still a Giant. On the other side, the Root Rider, for example, is just going directly to the next closest defense, which is way easier to use. But power-wise, the Giant is obviously better. This is why we're trying to set up pathing and controlling our Giants with this strategy. For the Archer Queen, you can bring a couple of different options, but I'm just a huge fan of this new equipment power-wise. It's not the craziest, creative concept, but it's just a really big powerhouse of an equipment. This is why we're going to bring it, and you can combine it with a lot of different equipments as well. On this one, we're starting things off with the Royal Champion charge. Since the Fire Spitters are pointing towards the bottom side, we're going to enter into the Town Hall. For that, we have to clear one of those flanks to make sure that the Giants are staying together. And as well, for this one, since we want to have the Queen going into the middle of the base, well, we have to make sure that we are switching the Queen with the King, because something needs to fall on the outside, and the Siege Barracks alone is not going to have enough power. You can as well use the Minion Prince. I will show you in one of the later attacks how I do this, but the King works completely fine as well. Just use the King with the Siege Barracks, break him in if needed, and just funnel the Giants into wherever they are supposed to go. Because they have so many hit points. As soon as they go into the right direction, they're an unstoppable force. But you have to wall break for them in the beginning, otherwise they really like to go to the outside, and that is not what you're looking for. As well, for this one, we're only bringing a couple of healers on our own. We're trying to rely on the healers of the Archer Queen equipment otherwise, and then just put everything in there. The Royal Champion with the main push, as well as the Queen and the Warden, the King for the funneling on the outside with the Siege Barracks together, and then enjoy the base struggling to take down overall so many hit points. Because remember, every single Giant has like 26,000 hit points. With the Apprentice Warden, that's like another additional 7,000 hit points. So I think it's like a total of 33,000 hit points on one single Giant if the Apprentice Warden stays alive. That's a lot. I mean, that is really a lot of hit points. That is like, I don't know, nearly 4 golems or something. It's scary for sure. And you can tell already by how the attack is looking, this base is crushed. The only problem with this troop is that you need to control them, which is not the easiest to do. If you can do so, which one option is for sure with the Royal Champion charge, you can take down really any base out there. But I think for most players out there, the Giant is not going to be the best way to approach bases because how tricky it is to really control them and not walk towards outside open compartments, outside defenses. It is really, really not easy to control them. So, that's great news because we have more event troops to cover and we're going to jump to the next one. The next one is going to be, that's right, it's Kane. It's my favorite event troop because, I mean, I just like the concept. It has overall 2 stages. The first one kind of works like a wall wrecker. It destroys everything in its path. And the second one is like an Electro Titan, but just way stronger. It's really, really cool. And you can set this up with a really nice strategy. We're going to play a lot of those Kanes, and we're going to use them to go from the far side of the Town Hall to enter into the Town Hall and just take down the entire base on our way. For this one, for the Archer Queen, you can go with a couple of different options again. I just like the Giant. I mean, I just want to have more power, so that's why I'm going to go with the Giant and the Magic Mirror. But again, you're kind of free here. Obviously, I know that not everyone is having the Giant upgraded or even unlocked. But again, as I already said in like one of the earlier videos, the equipment is really strong. So you will see me using it quite a bit over the next few days and month, I guess, depending on if we see eventually an equipment which might be better. For the approach overall, since normally you always go from the far side of the Town Hall, but what happens if the Town Hall is somewhat in the core? We're going to go in from the side with the least damage, which is on the back of one of the Fire Spitters. For this, we have to take down one of the flanks of this opening with the Royal Champion charge. And I mean, a lot of people are already complaining, saying like, oh, you're always saying Electro Boots should be nerfed. But, well, if they're not getting nerfed, which is, it's okay, then at least be fine with me involving it into every single top strategy ranking, because I mean, it is literally the best thing you can do. If you're sick and tired of the Electro Royal Champion charge, you can just do the exact same thing with the Fireball. This means that you're missing the Eternal Tome for the core, but at least you're doing something different. So it's a little bit weaker, but still usable for sure with the exact same army. The only thing you have to change is just make sure that you're adding 2 Earthquakes instead of the recall spell. And then we're just going in. Really important thing here is that we're having the Canes a little bit like spaced out. The important thing here is if you put all of them together, they're getting way too quick into the village. You want to make sure that they're staying somewhat close to your Archer Queen and to your Warden. For the funneling, this time around, we're going to use the Minion Prince with the 2 new equipments for this hero. You can use the King already as well, the exact same way as we just did with the Giants, but I just think this version of the Minion Prince funneling is just way better. But obviously it only works as well if you have the Angry Jelly. If you don't have that, just go with the King funneling. It's going to work as well. Just get a wall break for him to make sure that he can enter into a compartment. Otherwise, I mean, having the Minion Prince tanking, having the Royal Champion on the flank as well, with the Kane going through the core, any base is going to go down within seconds. It is crazy. And if you take a look at the top side, the Giant is alive. We have 4 Canes alive. It's crazy. I mean, it's really, really insane. And as I said earlier, I think my favorite event troop for sure, just from the mechanic and everything, from the looks, it's just so epic. But I think the last event troop is actually the strongest. The Disarmor is just, I mean, stats-wise, even more overtuned than the other troops. Because she has nearly 8,000 hit points for 60 housing space, which doesn't really sound that crazy. But she has 3 lives, which means you have to multiply those stats by 3. And we're going to play it the exact same way as we would play it with the Super Hog Riders, but we're going to replace them with the new Disarmor troop. On the Queen again, you can go with whatever, but the Giant is going to be the name of the game when it comes down to hero dives. The Magic Mirror with the Giant equipment is crazy damage output, while still having really solid protection. And you're not relying on a raged up healer to keep any of your troops alive, because you have the Giant tanking. For this one, for the approach, the most important thing is the Clan Castle. You want to have the Clan Castle troops out of the way. For this as well, you're picking just any side pretty much to enter. Important thing as well, we're going from the back of one of those spitters again. So I want to funnel one of those corners with the Royal Champion. Oh, surprise, it's again a Royal Champion charge. I'm sorry, but that's just the strongest thing there is in the game. Since this is just to really set up the heroes and make sure that they're really getting into the base, well, you would just do it with the Hot Rider puppet, because this means extra protection than for her in the later stages of the attack. We are not looking for a really deep funnel or anything. Like, if you get the first 2 layers already out of the game, that's totally fine. Just recall your troops after, and you're good to go. That's it. If you have invisibility spells left over, that's fine. You can use it later on your queen and on the clone queens and the core, and you will still get great value. The next step for you now is to have the Yeti and the Baby Dragon to funnel one side, and then in between those 2 funnel points, you're going in with your king, queen, with your Log Launcher and the Ice Golem. Obviously on our way we have as well one of the defending army camps and one of the attacking army camps, so we have one of the Canes as well to support us, which makes this attack even better, by the way. So if you can take the Cane on your way into the core of the base with your heroes, the push is even stronger than it already was. For the King, you can go with a double epic equipment. I'm just a huge fan though of the Rage Gauntlet and as well like the Rage Gauntlet combination, so I just like it way too much. And as soon as you're getting closer to the core, then you can use your Queen ability to generating the tank and as well have the damage output from overall 3 queens. Rage things up, use invisibility spells if you have any leftovers, and that's it. On one of the flanks of the heroes, you're going to start now with all of the bakeries. The disarmors, or like the bakeries, like the biggest thing and the biggest problem for them is really that they're not synergizing well with any other troops. Because in the beginning, they are raged up. They are so fast. So combining them with like another troop in a push or anything is really tricky. This is why we're just combining them with the Royal Champion, which is able to keep up, and the Warden, who's following them anyways. Use the Warden ability whenever, and the one heal, really important, use that after the rage, the rage effect of the troop itself has run out, because otherwise they're just leaving the heal way too quick again. You can replace this heal as well, by the way, for like another rage, for example, if you want to, because so far for me, the Valkyries never went down, so I guess the heal is not really needed, and the rage might be just even more strong, but that's something you can test for sure as well, because I think this is the #1 strategy during the event. It is just, like, it's unstoppable. There's nothing which can defend this. It is impossible to fail with this, really, because the disarmors are just, I mean, how are you supposed to kill them? It is not possible. Jumping over walls, dealing only targeting defenses, that's like a cheat code. But I want to give one bonus attack of like a combination of different event troops, and that is this combination between Kane and the disarmor. We're pretty much playing mostly the same army composition and approach as the mass Kane army, but we're adding one disarmor to have even more power, because as I explained, I think they're just overall really strong event troop, if not the strongest event troop we ever had. And otherwise, equipments are pretty much the same. The only difference which I'm going to do is just to show you that different versions of equipments work on the iTzu Queen. We're going to run the healer puppet with the giant together on this one. What makes this so good is, well, we have double self-healing on our queen, so she's pretty much unkillable. That's kind of scary. The next thing as well with this one, we're not going to be the Royal Champion charge, because all of the strategies which I just showed you, you can use as well with this Yeti opening. This works as well. This is the only thing which right now gets close to the power of a Royal Champion charge. Everything else is unmatched. On this one, we're not going to use 4 clones. 3 are enough for creating our funnel and setting up our canes for the attack. Again, since I do not want to attack from the back, like in between the fire spitters, we're going from the back of one of them, which is from the bottom right side. Again, go from the far side of the town hall, and then you have your entry. As well, as I said earlier, try to space out the canes. Delay the Valkyrie or the disarmor a little bit as well, because with how quick she is, to make sure that she's not running ahead too much, you want to delay her a little bit. And then, use the queen ability, use the vulnerabilities together to make sure that all of the black mines, which are probably going to come up versus your healers, are getting protected. This is as well the only downside of having the healer equipment here, that it's kind of like a bit random. If they're going down right away from black mines, it's kind of useless. But if they're staying alive like over here, it's massive. It's really, really nice, because healing on your troops is always really appreciated. I mean, you can tell already. Another cool thing is that typically always there's one disarmor splitting. And I don't know why, but for me, in most of my testing attacks, she always ended up with the Royal Champion. So the Royal Champion has like a personal tank in front of her, which makes her even stronger. It's really, really crazy. But all of those army links are going to be down below in the description. Check this out. It's a huge overkill. I mean, like all of the event troops, to be honest. But let me know what of those event troops is your favorite, and as well, is there any armor you liked in this video, or do you play even different strategies which were great for you? Again, I want to really remind you that those event troops are super strong, which means you can combine them with anything. But as I said earlier, if you want to have the strongest versions of something, you need to have a Yeti clone in there, or for example, the Royal Champion charge, which are right now the 2 strongest openings in the game. But that's it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you guys back tomorrow for the next Flash video. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.